Alright guys, it's time to flatten up the stock, clean this up, and make it look nice. As you can see, even precision ground steel comes with a pretty rough finish. So we're going to have to clean that up a little bit and make it a little finer. And if you don't buy precision ground steel, or whatever they call it, surface ground, this part of the knife making process is going to be more difficult for you. Okay? Now, belts in general do not run perfectly flat. Some more so than others. The only way to get it perfectly flat is with a surface grinder, and I'm sure not many of us out there have one. I don't have one. If you're doing this on a small machine like a 1x30 and your blade will not fit like this on a flat platen, you're going to have to do this by hand, and that means putting it on a really flat surface with some sandpaper like this and just going back and forth and back and forth, back and forth. It's going to take a long time, but that's the only other way to do it, as far as I know, to get your stock flat the way you need it. Disc grinders also work. I don't have one of those either, but I will get one of those. It's kind of like the poor man's surface grinder. Those will get it actually flat. So alright, here we go. I just got the knife attached with this one little magnet, and you know what, I'm going to center it in the knife just like that, and I'm going to hold it up against the platen just like this. Now it's a little longer than the platen, so I'm going to have to move it around a little bit. Okay? Get rid of all that funny blue stuff. Alright, here we go. Try and get around all these cameras. Moving it around. You can see we're starting to clean it up. It's a low spot, another low spot. So that, cut that off. Being that it's taking it off from the middle and not at the tips, tells me that the stock is actually bent a little bit. So we're going to fix that by put a little pressure on it on the corner of the table or something and bend it back. It doesn't take much, but that should help out a little bit. We'll test that again. Here we go. There we go, that's much better. It's still a little bent, but not so much where the grinder can't take care of it. Okay, and this is a 120 grit belt. See? Getting there, almost. I might even bend it just a little bit more. Getting better. I'm just dunking it in water to cool it down because it's getting pretty hot. Just a couple of trouble spots left. Now, I'm not so much worried about the tip right here, because that's going to get ground off anyway. What I am concerned with is the back. We want to make sure it's all flat, so I'm going to try and flip this over. See if that helps at all. Getting there. Okay, we're going to flip over and do the other side. You can even take a marker and draw some lines on it. And that should tell us where it's coming off. Okay, not bad. A little bit towards the end. And all the marker is gone now. So I'm going to call that good. Alright, so we got our rough surface grind in. You can take this up to a 220 or however high you want to do it. We're going to have to do this again after heat treat. So it's really up to you how far you want to take it. I typically take it up to about a 220. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm not going to make you sit here and watch that too. And then afterwards we're going to get ready to grind. The good part coming soon. Alright, sit tight guys. Okay, time for the next step. We're going to scribe a center line so we have a reference point so we get this grind centered. Okay, now this blue you see all over the blade like in the previous video is this stuff, the Ekim steel blue layout fluid. Any machine shop has it. I think this is like $8. It's worth its weight in gold. I know I said that before about the bandsaw, but it's definitely worth it. So pick up some of this. If you're in a pinch or a really tight budget, you can take the blade and a magic marker and you could just color it in like that. It doesn't work as good, but it will work. Okay, now to scribe a center line, I'm actually going to scribe two. So we got the thickness of the blade is about, where are you? There you are, about 29 thousandths. Okay, so I want something at least half of that. Preferably, if I'm going to do two lines, I need something a little less than that. So I picked a drill bit that is 7 thousandths thick, and this is a flat surface, this granite plate. The drill bit is a 7/64, and this is about an eighth for the fraction conversion. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to lay my drill bit and my knife flat on this flat surface, and I'm just going to drag it from one end to the other. Make sure you don't lift it up off the surface, and just drag it. And you see? Now I got it one line off-centered. Okay? Now we're going to flip it over and do the same thing. And drag it along. This isn't the most precise way to do it. But this is how I do it, and it works. Okay. Now that we did both of them, we'll focus. There we go. Oh, there it is. See, now I have two lines. So what I'm going to do is when I grind in my 45s, I'm going to grind right to that line. Okay? So, here comes the good stuff. Now we get to grind.